Hey, welcome into another episode of the Seahawkers Show with your host, Todd Fox. And I'm going to preview the Washington football team as the Seattle Seahawks roll into Washington to see if they can continue to try to get some momentum after a disappointing loss to the Giants and then a blowout win finally against the Jets. This is a 4-game series of games that we thought that they would just mash these teams, but it has been far from that. Barely beating the Eagles. Well, that's being scoreboard anyway. And then losing a tough one to the Giants and then beating the Jets. So Washington is not going to be a pushover. Out of the 4 teams that we've played so far, or out of these 4 teams that were supposedly pushovers, Washington is not that pushover. Ron Rivera has turned that team into a different type of team. Defensively, they are much stronger. Believe it or not, they are ranked 4th in the league as far as total defense. And then the offense has looked good at times, somewhat. I'm not going to say good, above average at least, with Smith in there. But now they go back to Dwayne Haskins, who Haskins has started at times this year, mostly last year, and was a detrimental to the team, being a player detrimental to the team earlier to where he was removed off the roster for a little while. It seems like he's gotten his head back together. He played a little bit in the 49er game. I'll show you a couple of highlights there, and you could see for yourself what he does. I'll show you the positives, and then I'll show you a little bit of the defense. I'm not going to show any Seahawk highlights this week because I felt that game was just too easy. If you want to see some Seahawk highlights, refer back to the recap of the Seahawks versus Jets. I broke that down and showed a lot of highlights in that game, or for that Pacific video. Also, please like and subscribe and tell a friend. I'm trying to grow this page. It would be amazing if you guys could help me with that, get some more subscribers. Just starting out, doing the first season of Seahawk football, so thank you very much if you like what you see anyway. Questions, comments, concerns are always great. I love the criticism, good or bad, so keep it coming. So with all that being said, let's get to the video. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because I think I got it out late. It's been a really busy week, but let's get to some of the highlights here because Seattle, in my opinion, really needs this victory because to get to 10-4, the Rams, anything can happen any given Sunday. It's not just a movie title. It's a cliche as well. It can happen in the NFL, but I just don't see the Jets winning a football game this year. I think they're going 0-16, and I don't think that their first win is going to come against the Rams. It would be hilarious, and it would be a great gesture by the Jets of helping out the Seahawks, but I don't think that's going to happen. So realistically, this is a must-win game for the Seattle Seahawks because if we lose this game, we go back a game and a half facing the Rams, and even if we get that game, they still own the tiebreaker on us or they still have a game lead on us because we would have lost to Washington. They would have beat the Jets. So it's a must-win game to pull even with the Rams, who basically have a bye this week with the Jets at home. And if Seattle can get this big victory, it sets up a super showdown Sunday night against the freaking Rams. So before I get to that, before I get ahead of myself, let's get to what they need to do. Take care of this game first. Washington, I'm going to show you some highlights here of Dwayne Haskins and what he can bring to the table. Here he is with a quick play action pass right here. And if you have the running game going, Dwayne Haskins has young receivers, okay? So these guys aren't like well-known. They're not really, household names. So Seattle, with their secondary getting better, I think it's going to depend on the blitz. Right here, the Ravens rushed 3 guys. They had a linebacker spying Haskins because he likes to run. But the fact here that the running game's going, a play action pass right here can open this up over the middle. That's there all day, either receiver or tight end. So it's imperative that the Seahawks continue to do what they do best, which is stop the run on defense, and then hopefully give their secondary a better chance to stop these kind of plays, and then have Adams as a rover who just set the record for most sacks for the NFL as a safety. So congratulations to Adams in his first year with Seattle, hopefully many more seasons to come. But he will be rushing the quarterback. He will be spying. He will be trying to make Haskins' day a living hell. And I think as far as the linebacker is concerned, with KJ Wright and Wagner out there, it's their duty to watch the ends and the receivers. And one guy who, if you're a true Seahawk fan, you'll know, J.D. McKissick. He's a guy that, in my opinion, was, if he could have just freaking stayed healthy, he had a roster spot for him the whole time. Pete Carroll held on to him for 3 or 4 years, and every time he would break out and have a huge game for Seattle, 1 or 2 games a year, he would then get hurt. Something would happen. He'd be out 4 to 6 weeks, and then everyone would forget about him, and he'd pop up again. and he just kept being a practice warrior, and just everyone was like, man, this guy's got talent. He could be a running back or a receiver, which he has been for the Redskins, for the Washington team at times this year. But he's been a great out of the backfield asset for either Haskins or Alex Smith, and he's been a tremendous receiver at times too, leading them with receiving. They also have, those are two guys that I worry about besides Haskins, is Peyton Barber, a good running back who is very underrated, gets a lot of yards, and then also McKissick. McKissick is dangerous out of the backfield and is a dangerous receiver. I think he's their best receiver, although some people think it's this dude, number 17. I don't think so. So moving forward here, here's, like I said, that play action, and then here he is rolling out. This is how fast he can go. On a rollout right here, you have the receiver on 4th and 2. The slot receiver is going to come down here. Traffic's going to get him open. The thing is, at times Haskins is very inaccurate and throws into double coverage, but then times he, like I said, the pass before this, and then right here, he zips it in on target, on time. That's on the run. Perfect play. 4th and 2, first down. Here's a shotgun play again. Ravens playing coverage right here, but they play one-on-one down here on the far side slot receiver, and he just beats his man right to the freaking goal line. It was a perfectly thrown pass. And then what he does best here is quarterback sneaks and running the football. 4th and 1, and he's a big physical receiver, so he can get in to the end zone very easily. He can stand up. So this is a guy that's not as big and physical as Newton. He's faster. He's not as fast as we've seen this year with Kyler Murray in Arizona. So he's not like that fast. He's not that elusive, but he can run. He does have wheels on him, so he's not a quarterback that we should allow to get outside the pocket. Keep him inside the pocket. He does make mistakes. Now here it is with the Niners. He made a couple good passes here too. Play action pass right there. Has time. Now notice on all the plays that I'm showing you, he has time. So you got to get to him to fluster him like any other quarterback. Here he is again, shotgun formation, over the middle, nice easy throw, first down. And that's what he could do. Now here's what they can do defensively. Now they got Kerrigan up front. They've got the rookie. I'll remember his name. Their corners are decent. I'll give them that. It's where Washington succeeds is their pass rush. We've all talked about this, and as we know, last year the Niners' strength was offensive and defensive line, and you have to. I think that's what Seattle is finally figuring out, that you got to build from within. I mean, like inside out, which is the lines on both sides. Offensive line, if you have a good offensive line, you could run the ball, you could pass protect, and hold the ball longer, extend plays. Defensively, if you have a great pass rush or a good pass rush or above average pass rush, you're helping your linebackers stay in coverage more. You're helping out your safeties and corners to keep up with their man longer. If you had a pass rush like Seattle had earlier in the season, even last season, where you're not getting to the quarterback, the corners, it doesn't matter if you have 5 Richard Shermans out there in their prime. They're going to get torched because you just don't have the pass rush to make the quarterback uncomfortable. So if you're not making the quarterback uncomfortable, bad plays won't happen. You won't give your defense a chance to make plays. 3rd and 11s get 3rd and 11s get converted. So your defense is out there longer. So we've all seen that, and the Seattle defense has gotten better over the last 5 weeks. The offense has regressed, with the exception of last week. So we're hoping Seattle can attack this defense. The key is Washington doesn't blitz as much. They'll play more coverage. They'll play more like the Giants do. So you have to take what they give you. It's a lot of runs, yards after catch, yak. You're going to need a lot of that. And then as far as like running the ball is imperative, because you will get Washington to start blitzing if you're able to run the football. And then they know that, damn, we got to bring more guys in the box. And then you'll have single coverage to go over top. That's how you take your deep shot. So it's imperative. Seattle with Carson, with Hyde, and possibly Penny making his first appearance in over a year almost. Maybe Penny can get in there too. We can mix things up, go with a 3-headed monster, and see about running the ball and controlling the clock. We don't want Washington doing that to us, which I don't think will happen. But this is going to be a close freaking football game. Trust me. So here we go. Again, 4th-rate defense. Here's what they do. They're getting some pressure right here. Look at this. Look, sack. And that's the young rookie right there, dude. That guy is amazing. I forgot his name, but they'll say it here in a minute. And here's another thing that they could do. Washington has a very underrated special teams coverage. So they will get punt returns at times. They've done a lot of things with kickoffs this year. Washington, believe it or not, is a sneaky team and by far the very best team in that NFC East. The Giants are smoke and mirrors at times. Dallas is Dallas, and the Eagles just suck. Although we'll have to see what they do with Jalen Hurts. He played very well against the Saints, but then again, there was no Drew Brees. But he still made a lot of good passes because Carson Wentz, as we all know, stinks. So here we go again. Niners with the football right here. Here's another play by the rookie. They get in there, get the rush. They strip the ball. A lot like what the Seahawks do. They go for the ball. Washington's very what's it called? Opportunistic. So there's a touchdown. That's it's Chase Young. I don't know why I forgot his name. Chase Young is a beast. That guy is everything Clowney should have been out of Houston when he came out of South Carolina. I'm sorry, out of college to South Carolina. He should have been this guy. And Clowney never lived up to the hype. He still hasn't lived up to the hype. This dude, Chase Young, though, right at first year, he is living up to the hype. Defensive monster. We are going to have to double team him as best as we possibly can. He is a freaking monster. So here he is scoring the scoop and touchdown after Mullins fumbles, which, again, like I'm going to say, not just for my hatred of the 49ers, but freaking Mullins sucks. He's not even as good as Jimmy Trash. So here we go. Niners again. Last highlight right here. Redskins put pressure again on the quarterback, forcing a stupid throw. Now, I don't think Wilson's going to make a throw like this, but I did see him throw one earlier in the year where Metcalf had to catch the defensive player. But right here, it's clear Mullins is not looking at the freaking linebacker right here or the corner. He's just trying to look at the receiver, and that's just a terrible throw. That's returned all the way. And that's what Washington can do. So if you're in a dogfight like this is the thing that scares me. Niners were in a dogfight. They were down 9. They were in the red zone or close to it, trying to get within a single score before the third. Well, at some point in the fourth quarter, they would have scored. But see, they were trying to get it to within a single score, but the opportunistic defense of the Redskins, if you leave them in the game, they will hurt you. They've scored quite a few defensive touchdowns. So my take on this game, Seattle must establish the run early to open up the plays over the top or even underneath in the zone. Take as much as you can, break tackles, set up screens, do things you didn't do against the Giants like you did against the Jets. Be creative on offense and score. And if you notice what they did against the Jets, they kept pushing the score. For the first time in a very long time, the Seattle Seahawks were able to push the ball. And even up being up double digits, 20 points, they were still throwing the football, which was a great thing to see. Why in the F do you not do that against all other teams? I don't know. I hope it's a start of a trend, and I hope it goes against Washington. But in this game, I'm going to predict the Seattle Seahawks win 21 or 20-17 in a very highly contested game. I think they will leave Washington in the game too long. Maybe it's a 20-10 lead for the Seattle, and then Haskins gets them a touchdown, and it comes to Seattle trying to run out the clock. I'm predicting something like that. Or Seattle just plays even with them and then kicks a field goal, goes ahead, or gets a touchdown to go ahead. It's going to be a tough game. It's all going to come down to, in my mind, can Haskins get the momentum going for Washington, and can they sustain drives? Because Washington a lot of times can move the ball at times, but then they hit a barrier either after the 50-yard line or before it, and they break down and they wind up having to punt. They do that a lot. They throw a lot of short intermediate passes. So Seattle must crack that zone or keep that zone very, very tight. Don't let the Washington find the cracks in the zones is what I should have said. So those are the keys to the game. Like I said, Penny should be back for this game. Will he play? I don't know, but he was cleared to play, so he should be activated. Greg Olsen, if you're wondering, even with that plantar fasciitis tear in his foot, which is very painful, he's actually making amends to be close to be returning. He could be back. I'm pretty sure he'll be back for the last game of the season. Maybe not the Rams game, but he's pushing really hard. So, like I said, Seattle in a win. They really need this game. It's going to be a close one. 10 o'clock start. Don't forget, go Hawks.